But I was asking that you're not one of those parents who set up an Instagram account for the baby and then start to tag the baby in photos and all that.
I think that's very dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah, like putting your kids' faces on a public platform. No, you shouldn't.
My bigger problem is that I feel like my son would hate me when he gets older for putting all those funny videos of him and all that.
That's the least of your problems.
Yeah,
hating you.
Many darker problems.
Yes.
True.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terrence?
Good old humor.
Good old humor, man.
Yeah.
So it's the end of year, the festive season.
Yep.
How do you think people are feeling about work?
Feels like everything is sort of shutting down a little bit, at least for most people, most places.
Most people and most places, yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Because this episode is brought to you by OPPO, the phone brand, and they want people to take a break from tech and be present and stop and smell the roses. Yeah, and to discuss this topic, we have someone who is a lover of tech herself, and is also the editor-in-chief of NYLON Singapore. Please welcome Adele Chan.
Hello, hi.
What's up, Adele? And you're also a photographer.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So you're someone for whom tech is always a big and present part of your life. Right?
Yes, I think tech is a big part of everyone's life now. You can't avoid it.
Yeah.
But personally, I've always been very gadgety.
Okay.
Like when I was a kid, I'll just play with my dad's cameras. I was always the tech person to go to. Even now, when my friends have questions about, how do I do this? How do I do that? What should I get? They'll ask me.
Does that get annoying once in a while?
No, I love it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
But even when they come to you with the most inane questions.
No, it's okay. It depends which friend.
I see. Also, you have a filter.
You're thinking of when parents come to
ask
you to
definitely.
fix stuff on the internet
why
in the
Facebook?
house.
I cannot like this post.
That one's bopian. That one is a given. I had to log into my dad's HBO Max, when they just switch from Go to Max.
Oh,
yeah. So
you have to do all that too.
That's an easy fix.
But you do, on top of that, you do the elevated tech, the stuff that even millennials and Gen Zs are dealing with. You also...
I do the stuff that my husband can't even deal with. So yes.
I see. Okay.
And I mean, a big part of the work you do, because NYLON focuses on lifestyle topics, right? One of which is tech, right? So maybe you can tell us a bit more about NYLON, like what your work as editor-in-chief is. Because whenever I see editor-in-chief, I'm always I know they definitely edit, right?
Yep.
But that's probably the small part of what they do, right?
Well, editor-in-chief just means that you're in charge of being in charge. It's really like a bao ka liao situation. But like any other job, you really do everything. So I don't think the job is any different from being a writer or being a sub-editor or being, a stylist, because you kind of do a little bit of everything. But it's when shit hits the fan, can I say that? Then the editor has to deal with it.
I see.
So that's the main thing. Being in charge, you also have the responsibility of handling problems.
But at the same time, doing a lifestyle magazine, I mean, a lot of people would imagine it comes with its perks, the being able to go to events, meeting cool, interesting people, and celebrities.
Yeah.
Is there that aspect of your work that you really enjoy as well?
I used to, like half my life ago. Literally, I enjoyed it, and we used to go to events as a team. It's almost like a party every time, and then you hang out, you see other people in the media, and the media circle in Singapore is really small. You end up knowing everyone, and it's fun. But now when it's like. Now I'm like twice the age when I enjoyed it. So it's a pick and choose situation. There's events that I want to go to or that I'm obligated to go to. And then the ones that I really want to avoid, just because I know that it's not going to bring any value add to my readers or to myself, then I just don't go. But it's come to a point where now everyone has an event, like post-COVID. So everyone has an event, everyone has a food tasting. It's so many that it's to the point where we can't even decline. It's that many emails that come in. So it's a perk, but it's also part of the job. Yeah, it gets to a point where almost becomes troublesome, like annoying, because can you imagine you get like 50 invites a day, for example. You can't literally reply to every single one of them, say, sorry, I can't make it, sorry, I can't make it. But, we try to, because it's the polite thing to do, but it's near impossible, especially when you're juggling, life, like in between, you have to sleep, you have to eat, and then I've got 2 kids, so there's that as well.
I mean, we totally get what you mean. Like, our inbox is flooded with invites also.
All the time.
No, I mean that as a joke, yeah.
No, seriously.
Oh, no. Because, I mean, we go to, we are not in the events business. So now, thankfully, we're getting a chance to go to getting invited to events and all, which is super cool. But I can imagine how taxing it can be. But, I mean, now that it's taxing, but you've always had an interest in lifestyle matters?
In tech, in particular. So tech events, I will always RSVP to. And you'll see me at most tech events. And so I hope to see you guys at the next one. Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah, maybe the next OPPO event.
But if you dig deep, what is the interest in tech? That even from young, what captivated you?
It's very functional. I love things that are functional and practical. Anything that's a life hack that can make a person more efficient. Basically, that's it. So tech helps us in that. When it's like taking a photo, even editing the photo on something as simple as a mobile phone, but you have so many apps now. And then posting it to social media. I can live my entire work life as an editor working out of a phone. That's a scary part about tech today. It's so advanced, but it's also incredible. But at the same time, I'm not going to do that because I will still use a computer. I'll still use like a tablet because they're bigger screens. So there's always that functionality. There's a purpose for every single tech product.
I see. But so speaking about the scary part of tech, do you find that your screen time and everything has increased over the years? The amount of time you spend looking at your phone or screens?
Absolutely.
Is it to unhealthy levels or worrying levels or what? Really?
It's not worrying levels.
Okay.
I think I have a nice work-life balance, but I still think it's unhealthy levels for almost all of us. But being in media, it can't be helped because it's part of the job. So we constantly have to take pictures of things that come in. We have to take videos and, post IG reels when we're at events. So it just can't be helped.
But do you have hacks on how to orientate the phone such that it's eye level without craning your neck or?
Oh no hack. Just move the phone.
Oh, just move the phone.
Just move the phone.
Or warm-ups you do before you have to use your phone, stretch your neck and everything.
That's a bit much.
No, but there's also all the like you mentioned, going to events, if there are too many, it can be quite taxing.
Yeah.
At the same time, some people can also say that if you're using your phone or checking your phone while at an event and all, some people say it's also can be quite rude, right? It looks like you're dismissive of what the event is or who the people are around you. Do you think generally our tech etiquette has gotten worse over the years, or how is it when you go out to events and you see young people on their phones all the time and all? What do you feel?
Okay, in general, society's tech etiquette is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Even me and my family, when we're at the tables, everyone's on the screen and I have to yell at them and literally stop, get off the phone now. Yeah. And when you have your husband who's not setting a good example as well, then therein lies a bigger problem. Having said that, back to the events. So when you're at events, actually it's the opposite. When you have a phone, a lot of media that's quite introverted, quite shy, especially the younger writers. They can be intimidated by editors who are obviously a lot older, who have been in the industry for decades and know all the public relations people there. They know the clients. And then you have this little writer that goes in, fresh out of school, and the phone is their way of escape. So they pretend to look busy. They pretend to be waiting for someone, texting someone, where are you? So they're on their phone constantly. So just, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I was at this Christmas lunch with this client. It's a suitcase brand. I won't mention which. So you have a whole table of editors, and then right at the end, you have this one. I'm not sure if he's a writer or senior writer. or an editor. I can't tell. But this guy was really quiet and he was on his phone the entire time. So when he got up, he went to the toilet. The guy across from me, who's this, he's this famous blogger, editor, he just went, hey, why is he so quiet? Who's that person at the end? Why so quiet? So sad. Why nobody talked to him? And then immediately, you know, when the guy came back, I turned to him, I was like, hey, hi, what's your name? Where are you from? And, you know, I think there's that need to engage. And it's, for a lot of people, you have to make the effort.
Yeah.
You cannot just, when you see people who are on their phone, sometimes there's a cry for help. It's not because, you know, they're that busy and they really need to answer their 100 emails while at a press lunch. You know, they're escaping.
So would you prefer a society where you can only use your phone till like 2 p.m.? Like everyone?
Oh, cannot. I also cannot. Not possible.
But you think about if nobody's using it, I think it's an all or nothing thing, don't you think?
Again, not possible. It's our job. I think you also cannot. Come on.
I don't know. Because like over the years, I've also tried to like make sure that I'm not spending too much time on the phone. Like sometimes even when I'm on public transport or something, I'll be like, okay, just look up for a bit, you know, look at other humans, not stare at them creepily or something, but just look outside. Because it's so easy to get sucked in. Like, do you feel that? Do you feel like sometimes you're getting sucked in and you can't pull yourself out?
It depends what I'm looking at on my phone. So sometimes I see my kid brain rotting, and then my husband calls it your brain becomes a hofan. You know, when you watch like complete rubbish, all these YouTube shorts or TikTok.
Yeah, you just scroll and
just keep going it on and on and on. You don't stop, and then brain becomes hofan. So you know, I do a very extreme measure. I just snatch the phone away. Okay, that's it. And then you know, I also learn from other moms what you do. Just make sure that there are no chargers available. Let the battery drain. No battery cannot use. It's as simple as that.
So they hide chargers. They hide the chargers.
Yeah, just keep the charger.
Wow.
Just keep it. Yeah. It's like the TV. They know how to, you know, install apps and everything. Even though we deleted the YouTube app like I don't know, like more than 10 times. They know how to reinstall it. Even though we hid it, they also know how to find it. Wow. So you know what? Take out the cable.
Oh wow.
No TV cable.
But then they don't just plug it in?
But
you mean you take the physically take the cable?
Physically take out the power cable for the TV, like the wall charger cable to the TV.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean that sounds
spectacle.
Pretty extreme, but at the same time, I understand where it's coming from. In that sometimes kids just really can't help themselves, as well, right? And you're also just trying in their best interest to do what's right for them, But for yourself, how do you set an example for your family? Is there a period of digital detox or anything like that you do yourself?
Does anyone hide your chargers?
Yeah. The husband.
Yeah, just he tried that. So no. I'm not stuck on my phone. I'm unfortunately stuck on my computer screen.
Oh, okay.
It's just my job. So it's like constantly like writing and editing stuff, liaising with clients, replying emails. I can't help it. I have to. So it's not so much the phone. It's the computer screen.
The computer screen.
But even when you travel or something on holidays?
I bring it along, yeah.
You bring everything along?
Everything along.
Wow. Okay.
On the aeroplane, first thing I do is take out my computer, open the screen.
I see.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a point in time where you had to spend successive days without like a laptop or computer or phone?
Just one night, that's it.
That's the most?
That's the most.
In recent times?
In recent times, just one night, because I do like an overnight trip to, like, for example, either Bangkok or KL. Then I will perhaps not bring the computer. Yeah, but that's the only time.
Are you one of those people that when you go on a long flight, you get in-flight Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I have to.
Oh, for work, is it?
Yeah, for work.
Oh, for work. So when do you switch off from work? Or can you switch off?
Oh, very tough. I can't switch off. I'm your typical Gen X Singaporean, very typical. I don't switch off. Like now, what we're doing now, this is called me switching off.
Like you not looking at a device for like an hour, it's going to be like a test of will, is it?
No lah. If I'm having, let's say I'm having birthday dinner with a friend, I will not be on my device unless I'm taking photos of the food, of friends, and it's different lah.
I see.
Festive season as well, like Christmas and everything. Do you also make the exception? Don't bring laptop to the Christmas dinner.
No one brings laptop to Christmas dinner lah. But the phones, I mean, I will tell everyone, like my kids, in particular because I can control them, right? So I'll be like, no phones at the dinner table, mix with the family, talk to them. Your grandparents are here, who knows how much longer they'll be here for, so talk to them.
Yeah. But in your line of work, like, do a lot of deadlines come up on holidays, like Christmas, New Year's Eve?
Absolutely.
And like, what specifically are you doing, like, as the clock strikes 12 on New Year's Eve that needs you to, be on at that point of time?
When the clock strikes 12, we're watching the countdown show and laughing.
Okay.
Yeah. But leading up to that, that's kind of like a nice lull period, that last week of December.
I see.
It's leading up to Christmas that's stressful because, we will do this massive Christmas gift guide.
Yeah.
We'll recommend hundreds of products. And then even now I'm starting to receive invites for Lo Hei and media drops for Chinese New Year. So you see how quick the industry works.
Yeah.
And then even before Chinese New Year, the mooncakes will start coming. So it's really, really fast.
So it's like your calendar is really filled up even all the way till like
it's very scary. Yes. Until sometime in March.
Wow, that's crazy. For us, I mean, the when we've like had deadlines on New Year's Eve or what, it's usually for like a pitch for a TV series or something. Right. And I remember literally like working on a laptop until I heard my friends counting down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and then just shutting the laptop, just running out and feeling like, what am I doing? Like, why am I working till the clock strikes 12?
And thankfully, the people who were putting out the pitch also realized that was an idiotic timeline, so they made it a few days earlier for the following year.
But which made me want to ask that are people like not just people who work in the industry, but are companies and all more cognizant, more respectful of your time these days? Like they know not to email you on holidays and things like that.
No.
Or they just go.
They just carry on as normal. Yeah.
You don't think it has changed over the years?
No, not at all. But I don't think they realize it. But again, it's fine. I'm not sensitive, so I don't. I'm actually quite happy that, there are other people working alongside me because when they work, I can work too.
Yeah.
When they send me their pictures, then I can include it in the gift guide. If not, I'll have no content.
I see.
Yeah, so it's okay.
So I mean, like on a weekly basis, like it sounds like your role, you basically do so much, right? But what does a week look like for you aside from going to events? Like it must be exciting, but it's also very intense,
It's okay, exciting is subjective. Exciting, it's only when there's like exciting events. Like to me, coming up, I would say I'm leaving for Riyadh tomorrow. So I'm going to attend a music festival there. So to me, that's exciting because I've never been to the Middle East ever. And, now it's quite a volatile, it's always a volatile time, but it's even more volatile now, with the situation with Syria, which is like a 2-hour flight from where I'll be. Yeah. So as long as, my airplane doesn't enter that airspace, I guess I'll be fine. Yeah. So that's exciting to me to see a completely different culture, and because I love photography so much, I just hope to do a whole lovely series of pictures and portraits while there.
I see. Okay. So and how often do you all publish content?
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
I see.
So every day on our website, on social media. Yeah.
And what drives you and your team to keep publishing content? Like what's the deep down reason?
Breaking news. You want to be the first to get it out there. Yes. But also stuff that's relevant and interesting for the reader. So if you see like a really cool, let's say like OPPO, for example, recently did a collaboration with Kitsune. That was cool. So, we immediately write about it. We push it out the same day that the news comes to us. But of course, we check the embargo time.
I see.
So, you were talking about going to Riyadh and being excited about that. How about Singapore itself? Because you're on the cusp of lifestyle and tech and innovation and cool things in Singapore, right?
Yep.
Is Singapore becoming cooler? Like, especially in this past year, with all the concerts that we're hosting and everything. What do you think?
There's a long pause.
Are we becoming cooler? That's a tough one. Dressing, no.
Dressing, no.
Dressing, no. Singaporeans, I know it's the weather, but we really need to dress better. Or we need to put in a bit more effort into our dressing, especially the guys. Yeah, because girls will, they'll wear makeup, they'll do their hair, or will try to, but of course the humidity immediately will make it frizzy. But, we're maybe cooler in terms of what I think is cool with Singaporeans is that we're very harmonious. That there's no real strife here, where we don't fight amongst the religions, amongst the races. We're very sensitive to each other, and that's the great thing about Singapore and being Singaporean. It's safe, we're very peaceful, and we like to keep it that way. So, even when you have public figures from foreign public figures that, make remarks about, Singapore's laws or the way we view things, we'll just bite back. And we're like, no one asked you. And we're very happy, having, the death sentence for people who, want to traffic drugs. But we're fine with that. And even things like, banning like protests and, large gatherings that result in protests. I mean, it sort of keeps the peace by having stuff like that. But it could also be because I'm Gen X and I've got a slightly older generation mindset. Not as old as Boomer, but still, I'm in between the generations. I went from analog to digital. I'm the generation that did everything.
I see. But so Singapore, we're still not really fashionable. I think that's
far from it. So far from it.
Yeah, but in terms of everything else, how about all the things happening in Singapore? We had Taylor Swift, Coldplay, even the Pope came down to Singapore.
Yeah.
Is Singapore a cool city to be in?
Of course it is.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to come here and perform here because I don't know, we give them subsidies. I don't know. But we have the infrastructure.
Yeah.
And, it's safe. Plus, we want people to come here. It's tourism dollars. Yeah.
But, going back to the fashion thing, because earlier you said that your love for tech is because it makes life efficient, right?
Yeah.
Fashion, like sometimes when you want to put more effort, isn't it inefficient?
No,
if you have to spend more time to dress up and stuff like that, as opposed to
not dress up per se, but just make an effort to look put together and groomed. Look at Bill Gates and Steve Jobs; they wear the same thing all the time, but they look well put together.
Yeah.
Even Zuckerberg, I mean, recently he's been trying to dress up more, but. If you look at what they wear, it's the same thing. Like Min Liang Tan from Razer. Yeah, he pretty much wears the same black T-shirt all the time.
Yeah.
And and he looks well put together. But when you just glance down Orchard Road, I mean, I know again it's our weather, the Bermudas, the flip-flops, the singlet, it's,
You just called out the Singapore uniform.
But they say Uniqlo's the Singapore uniform. But you see, you can get Uniqlo and look really nice.
Yeah.
Like maybe a polo T-shirt. Get something that's anti-sweat or that, evaporates sweat easily.
So just to understand, like why do you think dressing and looking well-groomed is important for society or culture?
You should. Wow, that's a tough one. I there was this quote on that. People. The first thing when people meet you, they judge you based on the way you look. Although we shouldn't. But sometimes you want to dress for confidence. You want to dress so that you give off a certain vibe to tell people who you are as an individual. And if there's this saying as well, if you want to be a boss, you need to start dressing like one. Start wearing blazers, start wearing better fitting outfits, not t-shirts that are too tight for a guy, or girls, don't wear leggings as pants, stuff like that. But it's you dress how you want to be perceived. So that's the main thing. I guess if you're on holiday in Phuket or something, that's fine. The cargos, dress appropriately.
Yeah.
And if you're shopping down Orchard Road, I mean, if you want to dress that way, that's fine. But it's quite an eyesore. Yeah. Even when you go to a upscale mall like MBS, everyone's also dressed that way, and it's quite I mean, to each their own. It's just that I feel like when you say Singaporeans cooler, not so much in the way they dress.
Do you think that's a very Singaporean thing? Or you have been to other similar cities, first world cities, that also where dressing doesn't seem to be like a priority? Or you think it's really just a Singapore thing?
No, it's a weather thing. I mean, we have the same weather as Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand. It's a weather thing.
And it's singlets everywhere.
It's just cockness everywhere.
Yeah.
But if you go to a place like Paris, you see how they dress with the nice coats and all. We can't do that. It's our weather.
Yeah. But do you see a difference across generations? I think young people, at least in my eyes, they do feel like they want to put in a bit more effort than older people, right? Like even our generation and all. So is that something it just comes with like advent of social media and being able to having to put yourself out there every day and all?
Yes. So I think social media is slowly changing that. If you look at like the Gen Zs, they are definitely dressing better. You have the mass population of millennials. They, I would say the younger millennials are dressing better. The older millennials now are starting to be able to afford to dress better.
Correct.
Yeah, it's just an evolution of your career.
And the Gen Zs are quite lucky. I think they're growing up in a time where it's okay to like have a mullet and all. It's like fashionable.
Yes.
Like our time, if you had a mullet, I think you get like beaten up by people at school and all that, right? But now they can have a mullet, they can have like long hair, short hair, anything goes. I'm quite envious of that, right?
But last time, if you had a tattoo, you stood out.
Yeah. Last time you were cool and you had a tattoo.
Yeah, but now like tattoo is like if you don't have a tattoo, you stand out.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit different now.
Do you have a tattoo?
I have a small one here.
Oh, no need. Do you have a tattoo?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. He hides it under his
bicep. No need to show it.
I wasn't planning to. I don't need to show it every time.
Unnecessary.
He just likes people asking. Then he said, "Oh, I have one as well, right?" Do you also appreciate body art and all this?
I appreciate it. If I could, I would do like a full half sleeve, very cool. But I don't have the time to do it, and I don't know what to do. So that's the main thing for me.
The Singapore flag with the 5 crescents, the 5 stars.
So I don't know. Is that allowed?
No.
I don't think you can anyhow use the flag.
Oh, that's true.
That's true.
You probably can't.
But then when you take portraits of people and all, if you see that they're very like nice,
I love it.
Tattoos and all, would you ask them to show more?
I'll tell them to take off their shirt. I've done that. I did that with a few friends. I told them to completely disrobe, and as one of them, we did it in the middle of Dempsey. So he just took off his entire shirt and I just shot him, half naked.
Wow.
So when you go to events like this music festival you're going to, and you said you wanted to take portraits of people, right? How do you approach them? Like, or is it like an event where people are expecting to have portraits taken?
No. Everywhere I go in the world, I will personally approach them, but I do so with very gingerly. So this is what I always tell anyone who attends any of my photo workshops. Ask very nicely, be very polite, be respectful, but you can kind of tell whether a person would be receptive or not. If it's like a grumpy old man who's by himself, you probably don't get yelled at, so don't, unless, you want to try your luck. If it's someone who's homeless, definitely not, respect the boundaries. Some people just don't want to be photographed in their, economical situation, like a cleaner or someone pushing, like a recycling cart. But then, when you see a bunch of kids who, they made an effort to super dress up and they're going to this festival, they obviously want to be photographed, or they'll be very happy to be photographed. And I think they'll be proud to get their picture taken as well.
But do you show them like your portfolio beforehand? Or?
So usually I don't need to, but last month I was in Berlin, and then there were these 2 bouncers outside the bar, and they were so tall, so good looking. And I was like, oh my God, where do you guys emerge from? Can I take your pictures, please? And he was like, what do you want our pictures for? Then, so I said, I'm a portrait photographer. I shoot with Leica camera. And then they were like, show us your portfolio, show us your Instagram, let us have a look. So I took it out and I showed them okay, you can take my photo.
Oh, really?
And then we expect those photos as well. You tag us and you send it to us. They were really happy with that. And then the hotel also reposted the pictures.
But talking about respecting boundaries, have there been places where, because of technology you're carrying, whether it's your camera or what, that you were rejected from like entering or not allowed to bring your tech in with you?
Never. I'm press.
Okay.
I got special permission.
Okay, and you keep a low profile, nothing too big or what. Because I'm asking because another big thing this year that I've discovered is that people don't really go to concerts and just enjoy a concert anymore. Everyone's there like just recording the full concert. And a lot of times it ends up blocking your vision, which I don't really enjoy. I mean, when you see that happening at music festivals, what do you feel about it?
Okay, so funny story. This was exactly a year ago. I attended the Manic Street Preachers Suede concert.
Okay.
And I was front row center, right dead in front of the stage. So I wasn't in the photo pit and I didn't have a photographer's pass, but I was taking photos there.
Okay.
And then coincidentally, I was actually shooting with the OPPO Find N3, the foldable one. Really cool phone. It's got like this Hasselblad camera system. I loved the pictures that came out from that. And I wanted to test it at the concert. So I did not bring my Leica camera. I just bought the OPPO. And thank God I had it strapped to me. So I was like taking pictures. And then Brett Anderson, he started yelling at the crowd saying, guys, no more pictures. Put on your phones. Put on your phones.
I remember that, yeah.
And then he came down the stage. And then he came straight at me because, again, dead center, right? I'm right in the center.
Yeah.
And then we had a tug of war over my OPPO. He grabbed my phone and then we were going forward, backward. And I was like, my God, shit. And then
it was you. Wow.
Yeah, that was me. That was me. And I think Asia One caught that on video.
Yeah,
so if you search for that, that was me.
Yeah.
And initially when he was coming down, I was like, oh, great, Brett's coming into the audience. Can take his photo up close. But no, he was there to throw my phone on the ground. But thank God for my Case-to-5 phone strap. And so he unsuccessfully, he couldn't get my phone.
Okay.
So he went to the next guy and he started taking everyone's phone and he threw a few phones on the ground. There was this girl nearby. He grabbed a phone, threw it on the ground, and he kept scolding the audience all the way. Then he went back on stage. And when he was on stage, he did tug of war again with some other guy who had his phone at him. He grabbed his phone and from the stage, tug of war, trying to
So he was like legit fuming.
He was fuming. He made, and that was all the news could talk about.
Yeah.
Which it's not a good thing. You want to talk about how great the concert was, what a performance. But instead, the news was about how he was angry with people taking out their phones. But he's what is he? He's a boomer, right? Yeah. So he's of that generation where, you have to sit and enjoy the music, be in the moment. But to a lot of people, being in the moment is with their phone.
Yeah.
Their phone is being in the moment and they want to capture it. So it's okay to take one or two pictures to capture maybe, if, let's say 10 seconds of the concert, so you have memories. But I don't agree with, bootlegging the whole thing.
Sure.
So there was this guy on my right who literally was doing that. He had the whole time, his phone is up and I took a picture of him taking the video.
Yeah.
And then I put that up on my own Instagram saying, okay, I understand why Brett was, pissed off, but he's also kind of he has to get with the program. The world has moved on. You can't stop guys like that.
Yeah.
If you want to stop them, get security to do it. Don't come down yourself to do it, It is like affecting his brand. Not that he cares.
But did you get PTSD from
I still love him. I still love Brett. And if anything, I think, front row, right in the center is really the best spot.
Yeah.
But in the future, I am going to wear a cap that says press. And then I'm also going to get a big sticker, those, running marathon stickers, those numbers that'll say media or photographer. Yeah. Because even though I can't be in a photo pit, at least they know I'm there on official business.
But that's so cool. Like most people would say, I think, Dua Lipa looked at me, or like, Chris Martin nodded. You had a tug of war.
Yeah, I had a tug of war.
That is a feather in your cap, man.
I know.
And it's such a rock star thing to do, to smash a phone or try to smash someone's phone.
That was an expensive phone, okay?
Yeah. Lucky you had it strapped on.
Yes, thank God for the strap. It worked well.
So I mean, like, was there any follow up from that, from the Sweet team or anything?
No, of course not. I mean, I did tag all of them. But who was this under? Was it Live Nation? Yeah, so I did. Live Nation saw my post and they were like, "Oh my God, Adele, are you okay? I'm so sorry." And we'll make sure, in the future, we'll try and get you a photographer's pass. So, they and get you into the photographer's pit.
Yeah.
But, with the photo pit for these concerts, it's you need prior approval from the band management. I recently met the official photographer for Metallica.
Okay.
This photographer called Lee Jeffries. I met him in Wetzlar. It was this whole like celebration of photography. So we were both there at the same time. And, I was telling him how amazing, it is to be in a photo pit shooting exclusively for Metallica. And then he's telling me, it's obviously it's like nothing. It's an incredible feeling. And so I was joking with him, can I follow you in the next one?
And
he thought I was serious. But I was hoping to be serious, but it was a joke because I know you need a lot of permission for stuff like this. And he said, oh no, the band's really selective about who can take their pictures. I was like, of course. Yeah, so I kind of backed away.
Oh,
yeah.
shit,
Well, that
man.
sweet story is crazy. But now I completely understand why you are the perfect person to talk about putting your phone away during like celebrations.
Oh,
and
for
the
sure.
festive
And why
season.
OPPO is the perfect sponsor for this episode because
The lived experience that Adele has had of like, someone saying, put your phone away and getting really like
Lived
angry
it.
about it.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
just now you said that you grew up, in the analog world and moved to digital, right? As opposed to like Gen Zs who grew up in digital. So like when you first started interacting with like a smartphone, did it blow your mind, or was it like the happiest day of your life, or
No, it's just a natural progression.
natural progression? lah?
I mean, we all used Nokias back in the day.
Yeah.
And
Did you have a Palm Pilot? That.
I had a Palm Pilot, had a BlackBerry. It's just a progression until you get something so advanced like the OPPO Find N3. That's like, back then if I had that will blow my mind. But every year the technology just gets better and better.
Yeah.
But now the focus is on AI and every tech company, their focus is on AI, but how good they do that AI. And as a photographer, it's very helpful for my job. I just circle things and erase them.
Yeah.
Or I just select item. No need to etch out products anymore. Just select subject, select item, and then you just erase the background. Yeah, it makes the job tons easier.
What about your job as an editor-in-chief as well? Does AI come into the picture?
Oh, so I tried using ChatGPT, to write articles.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no, cannot. It churns them out like press releases. It sounds so fake and so, there's no human element to it.
There's no soul to it.
No soul at all. But I did ask ChatGPT to plan my itinerary in Portugal.
Okay.
And then it came out like 10 things to do, on a girl's trip to Portugal. That was pretty good.
I see. So you would recommend still using it more for your personal things, but then for work and all, you still feel like that there's still a line that AI is not able to cross.
Yeah, they can't produce that. I've seen some photographers create incredible AI images, but there's still a little bit of tweaking to be done. I mean, from 6 fingers, you want to cut out one, right? And then, from, some wonky eye, you want to, kind of paste and edit that. But some of the pictures are incredible. You can create things that, you just can't photo shoot anymore.
But what about when you see ad campaigns, that sometimes, whether it's big agencies or whatever they do, and then there's obvious use of AI because you count the fingers, like someone has like 7 fingers and all. Like what do you feel when you see these kind of campaigns going out there that
that's
run
just
by AI?
lazy.
They
should have spotted the fingers at the very least.
Yeah.
No, there's no harm. There's no issue with using AI, in a professional capacity. If it makes the job a lot easier, I'm all for it. Efficiency, practicality.
Yeah.
But don't be lazy. Kind of spot, the mistakes and the things that AI can't do.
But do you are you more excited by a future where tech is one with us? Like Neuralink in the head, or something where it's still kind of decoupled and you can still separate?
No lah, must separate.
Must separate.
Must separate.
Why?
You
think about how efficient life will be, man. If in your head you don't even need to circle, you're like this.
No, that's scary. That's like Black Mirror. No. Yeah, the things you have to go out and experience. Like when you go and travel, you actually want to see, Niagara Falls. You don't want to see it on a VR headset and then go, oh wow, and then be amazed by it. You do that only if you cannot physically make it there. Then you get that experience. But if you can travel and if you're physically able, to see things in person, you should really experience the real thing. There's nothing like it.
That's true. I mean, my family, my kid is at this age where basically I'm still able to physically take the phone or anything away from him, so I can force him to sit down and have dinner with me and all that. But has there been situations in your life where you're at a social setting with some friends or something, and someone is just doing something so wrong or like just so out of the conversation because they're locked into their phone that you had to tell them off, like actually tell them off on the spot?
Well, not tell them off. That's not nice.
Okay.
Yeah, but yes, I have brought it up several times. Usually with best friends.
Okay.
You can speak like that to best friends.
Okay.
But if it's with a group of, not say strangers, but acquaintances, it's just let it be. I can't be bothered.
Yeah, I've done that thing. I tried that thing where everyone puts their phone in like a pile on the table, and you're not allowed to look at it. The first person to look at it has to pay for drinks, and that's worked pretty well.
But did you get called back for the next time they hung out?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm that. I'm the one that makes sure that there's enough social lubrication going on. That's why no phones allowed. But have you ever had to tell someone who's using a phone or anything?
I don't think so. I think it's when I'm sitting down with my wife, and once in a while when we need to order groceries or something, then we catch ourselves, either me or her. Okay, you finished the groceries already. Why are you still on your phone? Then
you jump to Instagram. You're suddenly on Instagram.
I mean, yeah, there's a link, then suddenly there's Instagram, and it's not just me. So sometimes we catch each other, and then we're like, okay, we have to stop.
Okay.
But now, I mean, my child is even further behind because only 13 weeks. But even now, like, sometimes when I'm burping her and I'm watching like the TV on and I see her turning, I'm like, no, don't look, so I can still physically block. But I can imagine it gets harder and harder.
Oh, so you watch TV while taking care of
Yes,
the child?
I do. I do. When I'm burping her.
Okay.
Culinary class was in the background.
No judging. Just
you telling me when you burp, your whole attention is 100% on your child, is it?
Oh, no. No TV. No TV.
But anyway.
How long are you burping her for?
Yeah.
No, I mean, okay, it's once in a while, like...
A whole episode.
No, okay, so in this situation where, let's say my wife is burping her and she's crying and all, so if I take... Yeah, I'm petting and all, then I'll walk around and the episode will still play. So I'm not paying attention full to the episode. I'm with her. But if I hear and I might not even be watching the TV, and if she turns to the TV, then I know that's not good.
But I mean, that's a real concern these days, right? Whether young people should be exposed to, social media, for example, from even as old as 16. Like, I think in Australia, they're thinking of banning social media for anyone under 16 years old. What do you think of like this kind of legislation that's going on around the world?
It's fantastic.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. I mean, because I have kids.
Yeah.
So but I'm guilty. I just approved my kids, my 14-year-old, 13. She's 13 this year. I just approved her Instagram account.
Instagram, okay.
But she's been asking me because all her friends on Instagram and, they want to show her pictures and she wants to, look at videos of hamsters and cats. So that's okay. Once you get the algorithm going, it kind of follows through. So it's so far quite safe.
Yeah.
And I monitor it, so it's okay. But, if it's completely banned, I wouldn't oppose that.
Then there's no peer pressure, right?
Yeah, there's no peer pressure. There's also, that relief. It's like a relief. I don't have to worry about it at all.
But you mean you never set up an Instagram for your children?
Yeah, I did. The minute I gave them names, when we named them, I registered Gmail, registered Instagram, all under the names. So block it first.
You've just been holding it all these years?
Yeah. For 13
Domain
years.
squatter.
Yeah, everything. Come on, talking to a tech person here.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Oh, Gmail,
kiasu,
everything
remember,
set up.
Singaporean, very kiasu.
Oh, yeah. Well, you choke first.
Yeah, choke first.
Choke first.
Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything.
So that like there's this big unveiling when they turn like 13 years old.
No, it's not unveiling. It's like, Mommy, can I get
It's
like, can I get an email account? Oh, yeah, it's just your name. Go ahead. I have it.
But what if you say, I don't want my email account to be my name?
Then they can set up another one.
But I was asking that you're not one of those parents who set up an Instagram account for the baby and then start to tag the baby in photos and all that.
I think that's very dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah, like putting your kids' faces on a public platform. No, you shouldn't.
My bigger problem is that I feel like my son will hate me when he gets older for like putting all those funny videos of him and all that.
That's the least of your problems.
When
hating you.
Many darker problems.
Yes.
True. Yeah. But you set up your
Instagram. No. Hell no.
Yeah. It's very tricky.
Especially if you're in the business of content and you understand like where it can go.
or how people can use the content.
Yeah.
With AI, especially these days.
Yeah. But I mean, socially, even with your friends, your peers, your acquaintances, tech, I'm guessing, is part of your interactions. Like, you can't take it away. But do you ever think it would be nice if there was, a break from tech, like a 1 day a week, or maybe not 1 day a week. Like, do you think it's changed the way your social interactions have gone for better or worse?
Wow. If there's no tech, I can't take photos. I'll be very sad. Yeah.
But I mean, even socially, like with friends and relationships, because for example, I know like WhatsApp and all those sort of apps can bring distant families together. But on the flip side, it's almost like once you're so connected, and if you are not participating, then people judge you for staying out, and then you get all these comments. So it's almost like it's like two sides of the same coin, lah. Do you feel that it has that effect, or it's purely net positive?
Wow, that's a story for another day. That's a very, very deep question. Yeah, pros and cons. Yeah.
I guess what I would ask is like, interesting you mentioned about generations, boomers, Gen X, old millennials, young millennials. Our relationship with technology is all different, right? And but you see a lot of young people today. They're hyper connected, always on social media, all that. But at the same time, they say that they're the loneliest generation ever. They feel so lonely. Like, what do you tell young people who have that kind of issue of saying, I feel so lonely even though I'm connected all the time?
Oh, I have not heard that.
You never heard it?
No, I have not.
Oh, really?
But that's sad.
Yeah.
I think every generation will have the issues. And I think it all just really boils down to personal character. Some people have fear of missing out, FOMO. Some people just don't. Like I have friends who are like polar opposites. Like, one has to be part of everything. She, when we go out, she wants to be invited. She has to be there. She has to, order the nicest thing on the menu, But then I have other friends who can't be bothered. It's like, yeah, carry on. You'll carry on without me. It's fine. So it's just personal character. And that doesn't span a particular age group.
Okay.
I think it's just across all generations. It's just personal character.
But what about during COVID though? Because COVID, I think a lot of people got used to staying at home, not going out much. And maybe some of those habits persisted beyond COVID. Do you think COVID was a good thing in terms of how it reset everyone's interactions with each other? Or you think you would never want to go back to a situation like COVID again?
Good and bad lah. COVID was okay for some people, it's terrible for others. I can imagine those who live alone, those who need physical help. I mean, COVID must be terrible for them. Or those who are less fortunate.
Yeah.
But those who can afford it or who live in a lovely, huge mansion, I mean, what's the big deal for them? They're staying in, they have so much space at home, and all the loved ones are safe inside, so it's a different situation for everyone.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've been doing NYLON for what, more than 10 years already? And across that time, you've interviewed a lot of people from a lot of different countries. Any trends that you see in terms of like how they're like the global perspective? You hear all this talk about how it's increasingly globalized. Do you see that there's a lot more, any changing attitudes towards people, people from other countries? Because I can imagine Singapore back then, not the most well-known internationally, right? But now, do you see a big shift from then to now?
No. I was in Australia earlier this year. They still think we're from China.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A lot of Australians think Singapore's in China. Where else was I? Oh, I was in Munich. You're from Singapore. Oh, okay. It's in Malaysia, right? No. But I mean, technically it's closer to China than, someone thinking we're from China. At least we used to be part of Malaysia.
And those sort of demographic of people are professionals and people in the industry?
No, they're just strangers that I meet. And then, we just get to talking, like portraits of people that I take. And then, they'll ask me, oh, where are you from? I met a bunch of 4 boys from Afghanistan. They were trying to take a picture, but, so I offered to help them take. And when I snapped the picture, then they asked me, where are you from? I said, I'm Singapore. they say, oh, that kind of response, like they had no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I see.
But you don't get they don't talk about caning or chewing gum or how clean it is
Nah,
anymore,
no one talks about that anymore.
Or Crazy Rich Asians or...
No, I haven't heard that in years.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Or Taylor Swift concerts.
Taylor Swift concerts and all.
No, haven't heard that too. I mean, she performs elsewhere as well.
True.
Yeah.
True.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's quite interesting just trying to perceive how Singapore is perceived outside. Because we study in the US and all that. And like what you mentioned, people used to ask me things like, is Singapore communist? Is Singapore part of China, all that. But I'm just wondering whether if I go back to those places where I lived last time, will it be any different? Will people be asking about, that Gardens by the Bay thing and that I saw in a documentary or something? That's why I had the question earlier about whether you think Singapore is cooler. Like is it a destination? Like how you talk about Riyadh, going to Riyadh. Do people outside talk about coming to Singapore in that way?
Yes.
They do.
They actually do.
Oh, really?
I think almost everyone I've met who's never been to Singapore is on the bucket list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think our tourism STB has done quite a good job marketing Singapore to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Again, like you mentioned, Gardens by the Bay. Once you see that picture of MBS and those super trees, it's very iconic to us.
Yeah.
And people want to come. They have this preconceived notion that Singapore is very futuristic. It's a very well put together country. We're like super first world. But when they come here, it's we've been getting some negative reviews from some like backpackers and people, a few Caucasians have visited us recently. Commenting about Singapore is like
expensive or something.
Boring. Someone said it was boring. Yeah. And then you have the locals coming out saying, hey, you didn't know where to go, or you did just the usual touristy stuff. There's a lot more to Singapore. But being in Singapore for so long, to us, there's not that much more to Singapore. Singapore is really one end to the other 45 minutes. Yeah. But it's nice that all these new areas are coming up. You have New Baru, you've got what's that? There's some container thing that's turning into like a whole row of eateries and stuff. These things are coming up there. It's different, but we kind of keep going back to the same places though. Yeah. Like I brought my parents to East Coast to eat at the PS Cafe there. And they were like, oh yeah, it's nice, very nice. But if I ask them again, where you want to go? Oh, let's go to the PS at Paragon. It's really like...
it's nostalgic.
Yeah, it's not. It's just comfort zone.
But what would you say to people who say that Singapore has no culture?
We definitely do have culture. We have a whole language. Come on. It's like our culture it's very unique. If you consider even just NYLON Singapore itself, we're the only NYLON title franchise in the whole NYLON universe that's in English, apart from the original NYLON US. So every other NYLON, like NYLON Japan, NYLON Korea, Thailand, they're all in local language. And you've got Germany, Spain, Mexico, they're all local language. So we're always different. Somehow Singapore's different from the other territories.
Do you find there's more pride from Singaporeans in the Singapore culture compared to how it was?
Yes, a lot of pride actually.
And how have you seen that change?
Just meeting, I do meet a lot of younger people in my line of work. Like when I go for events, everyone they're very proud to be Singaporean. And even when I'm on press trips, we're Singaporeans, I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing, but we're always the proudest, but not necessarily in a good way. We have to, shed the pride and stop being so haolian and, stop thinking and feeling like we're superior to others. So, but at least, the national pride is there. We feel good about our education. We feel good about our safe society and how, it's how integrated and inclusive it is. Yeah.
Do you find there's a lot more to talk about now than there was, like, say, when you first started?
That's a tough one. There's definitely more to talk about now, but depends what, because NYLON as a title doesn't touch on social, economic, political topics. So there's a lot in that space, but we don't touch that because that's not our title. But we started as a fashion music magazine. There's a lot more music to talk about now. So that's something we're trying to get back into. Fashion's always been there, and fashion goes through cycles. What was in fashion 10 years ago is back in fashion again today. And it never really changes that much. It's just iterations of it.
I see.
And when you talk about the beauty category, that's a whole monster in itself. There's every single day there are new beauty products being launched and whole collections. And I mean, for someone who loves beauty, that's very exciting.
I see.
So, I mean, Singapore, generally a lot of culture, a lot of things to talk about. But fashion sense-wise, we still can improve quite a bit. And since it's a festive season, people are going to be dressing up and going out. What's one quick tip that you have for Singapore people who want to just spruce up their dressing?
Guys and gals.
Yeah, without going over the top. What's the one thing that they can do just to make it better?
I would say cover up.
Cover up.
Yeah. When you layer and you cover up, you tend to look a bit more put together and a bit more polished. So it could be something simple like, I would say even, one of those UV cardigans. Yeah, I mean, it does double purpose. It shields you from the sun.
Yeah.
Or for a guy, it could be like a very light cotton or linen blazer. So it doesn't really add the weight or the heat, but, it just instantly makes you look better put together.
But don't wear that with slippers, right? Essentially,
you can, but you just got
you cover up with
singlet and then with
I think for guys, the slippers should be kept to the market and to the beach. If town, if you're going shopping, as long as you're stepping out, that's not the market. Wear at least sneakers like a nice pair of shoes. Doesn't have to be formal shoes, but like sneakers
Okay.
Yeah. Unless your toes are really well manicured.
No, but still no one wants to see your toes. No.
I'm just trying to find a loophole for all our Singaporean men out
there. No, that's a tough one. Yeah.
And the weather also helps now. It's a little cooler than what it was the rest of the year.
Man, it's so hot.
Few days,
it's so damn hot.
During the weekdays, it seems fine, but weekends it gets really hot, right?
Yeah, weekends gets hot.
We hit 36.5.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
like the highest ever since how many years ago.
So how to dress like that, Adele? You bring a jacket out.
If you the tips on linen.
Linen.
Okay, this is where tech comes in. So, I love writing these tech guides about how to stay cool. So things like portable fans, the electric ones, and they're not all the same. There are those that are better than others. You don't go and buy a $10 fan on Lazada, you invest in a good one. There's this brand I came across, Jisoo Life. It's a pretty expensive fan. It's almost $80, $90, but it's super powerful. It's like a turbine, but it will blow everything. It's so powerful. Then, there's that, the neck fans as well.
Yeah.
So there's a brand called Taurus. They have this plate at the back of the band. So when you put it on your neck, you can actually set it to cool down. So it starts acting like a cool plate. So it feels like aircon. It's actually not bad. And then there's also fan that will blow directly at your face, up and down. So you invest in the good ones. You just need one. And it works, correct. And then there's other, Sony has this aircon thing called the Rion. You wear it around your neck like a necklace. It sticks under the back of your shirt, and then it blows cool air down your back. So that also will reduce your temperature by a few degrees.
I see.
Yeah. There's ways that tech does help us.
So those are great tips on how to, stay cool. But what about people who have been listening and they realize they want to disconnect? Any kind of tips that you have found that has helped you kind of disconnect, when you need to from tech temporarily? Any things that you have imposed on yourself?
Well, that's a tough one.
I know for me, one thing I did for my social media apps, I moved it all to the back screen. So I have to swipe a few times and then group them together. So I have to click again and click and then click.
Just making things tough for yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, no, but I think that helped. That helped.
Okay.
It helped me to a certain extent.
Right.
Yeah.
That would irritate me.
For me,
not efficient.
I got an e-reader recently, and it gives me the fix of still a touch screen and everything. So before I sleep, I'm still touching screens.
But it's not like blue light or something.
It's not blue light in general, but it's nothing but words, right? That's all you can do with it. So you it's a bit like I guess if you had needed coffee, you just need a caffeine fix. Just the touching of the screen just helps get that out of my system. Then I can sleep.
That's the e-ink, right?
It's like a Kobo reader.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. It's much more pleasant for reading than staring at the phone. Yeah. But for you, like any tech that helps you disconnect from tech in general.
Wow. No, I'm constantly connected, unfortunately. Yeah.
Do you like meditate or you say you listen to music a lot, right?
Yeah.
So is in some way that helps you kind of like
So
go analog for a bit.
So before I sleep, when everyone's asleep, if I have some time to myself, I'll get my best pair of headphones, put them on, play some music, and then just relax. But it's still tech.
But you're not looking at a phone.
No, I'm not looking at the screen. I'm just listening to music.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, I love doing that.
So it's really like no other sensory engagement. It's just
just music.
Oh yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah.
I mean, in some way, tech to help disconnect from tech is, I guess, why OPPO wanted to get this episode done.
Pretty much.
Because they're a tech company, but even they want us to disconnect this holiday season.
Correct.
So we have 3 tips. One is like e-reader. One is move social media icons all the way to the back, and one is listen to music.
Focus on music.
Yeah.
A lot of interesting
but yeah, I mean, that's a good way to proceed into the final part of our podcast, which is the one Shiok Thing, which is what we do with every episode, guests or no guests. It's just where we share one thing that with our audience that they can enjoy or consume. So you can go first. So you still have a couple of minutes.
Okay, let me think about
Terrence,
it.
You have yours?
Yeah, I've been playing this video game called The Quarry. And as I've gotten older, I used to really enjoy first-person shooter, really hardcore video games. Then now I just like to play a video game, but occasionally make a decision, move my thumb a little bit. And this game is one of those cinematic games where essentially it's a movie with decision points where you make decisions on behalf of characters. So it's it's called The Quarry. It's based on 80s, 90s horror, teen thriller horror kind of shows where a bunch of kids are trapped at a summer camp, and things happen to them. So yeah, it's been nice just sitting there feeling like I'm playing a game, but actually I'm just occasionally moving my thumb, making a decision. It's not so intense like Call of Duty or anything like that.
So you don't need it's on which console?
On my Xbox, yeah.
Xbox. So it's kind of like calming also.
Yeah, because you're really just watching a movie, then occasionally you got to, make a decision on what to say or what, You're really not engaging with the controller any other time.
It's like last time when we read the book,
Yeah.
You want to
choose your own adventure.
Yeah, choose your own adventure.
Yeah, that type.
I see.
That's how I've been. I think that's how I'm ending off the year with that very cool video game.
Okay. My one Shiok Thing is this video I saw by Tom Scott, which is a pretty big YouTuber that does quite informative videos, like short videos. So I recently just chanced upon something. He was talking about the jungle gym, which I never knew that was what it was called. But if you imagine, it's like a thing for kids to climb, but it's a cube that has many smaller. It's like a cube of cubes, so people can go they can go back and forth, up, down. And he was talking about the history of the jungle gym. I don't think it's that common now because I guess kids have gotten injured. But he talked about how the person who developed it was actually the son of a researcher or scientist that built this in their backyard to play. Because as opposed to just going up and down a ladder or left and right, you can literally go in 3 dimensions. Yeah, so the guy ended up patenting it. But what I found the most fascinating about the whole video was his father who made it, right? The reason he made it was because he was a researcher, he was a scientist, and he believed that if people are traveling in 2D, left, right, up, down, and can imagine a 3D space, if he built something that allowed kids to play in 3D, they might be able to imagine a 4D space. Yeah. I don't think that has been proven, but I just thought, holy shit, I think he built it in like the 1800s or something. I thought it was a very cool reason to build something.
But it got discontinued because people got injured on it?
I think kids got injured. Because I think,
stuck, is it?
I don't know whether, because the guy who patented it, in the patent that got improved, he said this is actually fall proof. Because if a kid falls from the top, they will never fall straight down.
Yeah.
They will at least land. But I think that was still kids can get injured.
Oh, I see.
I think it wasn't discontinued like as a regulation. It was just less and less people used it. But I just thought the premise of we move in 2D, we can understand 3D. Let's move in 3D so we can understand 4D. Yeah. So that was my one Shiok thing. What about you, Adele?
Okay. So my one Shiok thing is that I discovered this really nice char kway teow at Food Republic at Woodleigh Mall.
Oh, really?
It's really good.
Oh, really?
And it's a food court, Food Republic.
Yeah.
Woodleigh Mall, which is a fairly new mall. Yeah, so it's like really good char kway teow. It has the wok hei, that flavor. They got ham, they got lap chong.
And you chanced upon it, or you got a recommendation?
No, I chanced upon it. I just ordered it on Grab Food. I was just looking for char kway teow, and then that was the nearest, and so I just tried it.
And it's good.
And it was surprisingly so good.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and the family thought it was really good, and they're really critical of like my husband, he's really critical of char kway teow. So it can't be too sweet, it has to have that wok hei flavor. So yeah, and if he said it's good, it's really good.
Oh shit.
And that was you bought it on delivery as well.
Yeah,
so if you ate it there, it'd be even better.
Yeah. Correct. If you eat there, it'll be even nicer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So people,
now you know.
They know Food Republic. I'm guessing you don't know the stall name. It's just the char kway teow at Food Republic.
Yeah, it might be Tai Hong. I'm not sure, but most of the char kway teow stores in Food Republic is under Tai Hong.
Okay.
So it could be, but it might be someone else. Yeah, it might be someone else. But yeah, all the branches are different.
Yeah.
Like the one at Ion, it used to be fantastic, but over the years, I don't know, maybe they changed chef. Not so Shiok anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, the one at Woodleigh Mall, oh my gosh, so
it's
good.
Great, huh?
It's really good. Yeah, for food court food, it's really good, and it beats hawker food.
Oh,
I was surprised.
Wow.
Well, it's going to be very crowded from now on.
Yeah,
now that you've revealed it to the world.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, very magnanimous of you to not, protect it. But thanks so much for coming. If people wanted to find out more about the work that you do, the photos you take, where can they go?
They can go to Instagram at NYLON SG. They can check out my personal Instagram at Adele__Chan.
Okay. Awesome. Cool. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks everybody for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. And remember, don't spend all your time on your phone this festive holiday. All right. Yeah. So look up and I would say smell the roses a bit old, right?
Smell the food. Smell the food on the table. Smell the char kway teow on the table in front of you.
And don't take a photo of it. But cool. Thanks for listening, everybody.